You're not stuck because something is wrong with you. You're stuck because your entire system, your mind, your body, and your chemistry has been shaped by what you've been through. And if you don't understand it, you'll keep blaming yourself for things that were never about self-control in the first place. If you've experienced trauma, you are conditioned to intensity, which means that instead of associating dopamine with healthy progress, it starts to associate it with emotional highs and lows. That's why toxic relationships feel so addictive. The extreme highs of love bombing, followed by the crushing lows of rejection, create a loop that keeps you hooked. And the worst part, even when you logically know something isn't good for you, your body still craves it, just like an addiction. And over time, your system begins to need chaos and will attract what you already know without you seeing it. Serotonin, on the other hand, is the chemical that should regulate your emotional stability. It should keep you feeling balanced, calm, and grounded. But if your serotonin levels are low, whether due to past trauma, chronic stress, or emotional neglect, your brain starts interpreting even normal situations as threats. You might catch yourself overanalyzing everything, preparing for worst-case scenarios, or feeling restless even when life is objectively fine. And that's where things get tricky. When peace feels unfamiliar for you, chaos starts feeling like home. So, a lot of us struggle in stable relationships not because they're toxic, but because our nervous system has been conditioned to expect instability. If your system has learned that love means unpredictability, then calmness might feel like a red flag and not safety. And then there's oxytocin, the bonding hormone. This is the chemical that helps us form deep, meaningful connections. But just like everything else, it can work against you if your brain has learned the wrong associations. If love never felt safe for you growing up, your system doesn't know how to recognize healthy connection. That's why you might feel drawn to people and situations that mirror past wounds, not because they're good for you, but because they feel right on a subconscious level. Your brain isn't looking for what's best for you, it's looking for what it knows. And while all of this is happening constantly, there are two more at this drama theatre. Do you know about your stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline? When you're in actual danger, these chemicals are there to help you react fast. If trauma has kept them switched on for too long, your system stops being able to tell the difference between real threats and everyday life. That's why you might constantly feel on edge, struggle to relax even when things are good, or even feel addicted to stress because it's all your body has ever known. Your system will always try to give you what it believes you need, and if you've lived in survival mode for too long, your nervous system will keep seeking survival, even when you don't have to fight anymore. So, if stress has been your baseline for years, how could you possibly wake up one day and just decide to change? After years of helping people to reflect, too many were stuck in negative cycles, blaming themselves for not being different, and they really thought they just needed more discipline, more motivation, or more self-worth. But there is no chance. You may not see the character traits you built because no self-concept is in place. When you're seeing yourself constantly riding short waves of euphoria followed by emotional crashes, you can't just wake up and force yourself to be different. It doesn't work that way because this is not just about building a new mindset. Real change starts when you build a foundation for change, and this starts with seeing why you respond the way you do. When you realize that breaking these patterns isn't about being better, it's more about learning how all your system actually works so you can rewire. I want to be really honest with you and give you a background of my life, and what I didn't see for a very long time was this. Hurt people do hurt people, and for years I was one of them without even realizing it. And if you haven't heard about it, you should sign up for my upcoming free masterclass to get a starting point if you are fed up with living in cycles and not seeing them. Click the link in my bio or comment masterclass below, and let's start shifting these patterns together.